Toronto Mayor Olivia Chow says the province has only provided the city with 20 signs to replace speed cameras in school zones, and they are too big, meaning new poles will need to be purchased for them.
We cannot get more than 20 unless the province decide that they would increase the number of locations. So, yes, we have 150 speed cameras, and they are in school zones, and the cameras rotate because there are 641 school zones in total. We have told the province we need new posts. They are going to fund us for the new posts, but unless they change their mind, 20 locations is it.
The Ford government had promised to provide temporary signs to municipalities across the province when the speed camera ban took effect. And for more on the impact of the speed camera ban, we're joined live now by Brampton City Councillor Rowena Santos. Councillor, great to have you with us. You say that speeds have already increased in zones that used to be monitored by those speed cameras. That's certainly troubling. Where's the data coming from?
Yeah, thank you. So the data is coming from the cameras that are no longer issuing tickets. In the city of Brampton, we have 185 cameras. We have 183 schools. So the majority of our cameras are located within school zones. And while the cameras were turned off on November the 14th, we still, in terms of issuing tickets, we still were tracking the data. And what we are seeing is that drivers, as soon as those cameras were turned off, the drivers, in terms of driving 11 kilometers an hour or over, has doubled. So people are now driving well beyond the speed limit based on the cameras now being off.
Now, we heard Olivia Chow there, Toronto's mayor, talking about signs and only having received 20 of them. In Brampton, have you also received signs from the province? What's the latest for your team there?
Well, yesterday at Committee of Council, we did have a sign that was brought to Committee of Council so that we could see how large they are. And I will say that in my 5-inch platform boots, I felt like a little bit like an elf on the shelf next to the sign itself. And size does matter. And in this case, these signs are extremely large. They're quite oversized. And the concerning thing here is that they could cause blind spots. Kids, you wouldn't be able to see them behind these very large signs. Drivers wouldn't be able to see them if they're backing out of their driveway next to a school, for example. And on windy days like today, you know, these signs could just fall off and hit a car, hit a person. So I don't think this was really well thought through. Now, the city of Brampton has already provided over the past couple of weeks feedback to the province about our concerns. Clearly, we can't implement these things in all the school zones where there were once cameras. At the same time, with no cameras there, with no signs that are up, no speed bumps that can be constructed in the winter, many of our young people going to school are now that much more vulnerable, knowing that drivers, now that the cameras are off, are already speeding.
Now, is Brampton going to be installing these much bigger signs? The province did say they would provide poles to go with them.
We're going to have to find the appropriate locations where it makes sense to actually install these massively large signs that were supposed to be for highways, not school zones. And on top of that, you know, the right infrastructure so that they don't fly away in the wind like days like today. I don't know whether or not we're going to have to put a deep hole in the ground with concrete and put these poles that the province is going to send us in order to erect these 8-foot tall signs, which, you know, off the ground will end up being 12 feet tall.
Now, the province, I mean, the ban's in effect. It certainly doesn't look like things are going backwards and these cameras are coming back. They are gone now. Is Brampton going to do anything, knowing that people, and this data is showing that people are speeding up? Are there potentially any steps coming down the pipeline in these school zones to improve safety?
We're going to keep tracking the data. We're going to keep getting the numbers, and hopefully, you know, science data evidence will prevail on top of the Sick Kids research, CAA research, chiefs of police research, hopefully with the proof that people are speeding now that the cameras are off, perhaps something will be done. At the same time, the city of Brampton is looking at ways to repurpose these cameras, perhaps making them into red light cameras, helping with police with criminal activity. And in Brampton, we're looking at these cameras to, you know, crack down on noisy mufflers.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, Brampton City Councillor Rowena Santos, great to have you join us here on CTV News at noon to lay out your thoughts on the matter. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Take care.